The restaurant smelled of grilled snapper, sea breeze, and quiet endings. Candlelight flickered across the white tablecloth, reflections dancing like restless spirits between them. Nadine sat across from Gabriel, sitting straight-backed, hopeful but unsure, wearing the light blue dress he once called his favorite. She had applied perfume, retouched her hair twice, rehearsed soft smiles in the mirror. She thought tonight meant something like repair. She didn't realize tonight was the funeral of the love she had wasted. Gabriel didn't speak, didn't touch the silverware, didn't look at her for more than a second at a time. His face was calm, not distant like anger, not tender like love. Just calm, like the sea before a hurricane barrel rolls the world apart. Then he moved his hand. A small gesture. He lifted 2 fingers. Someone stood up from across the terrace. A woman, not flamboyant, not styled to provoke, not performing beauty. Simple elegance. Warm brown skin. Soft hair curled to her shoulders. Eyes that saw and understood everything without asking for attention. Ruth. She approached with quiet steps, the breeze lifting the hem of her cream linen dress. When she reached the table, Gabriel stood, and pulled out the chair beside him. Not across. Beside. Nadine's breath collapsed inside her chest. Her fingers stiffened around her water glass. Because no matter how far someone runs from truth, the heart knows the shape of replacement instantly. Gabriel sat. Ruth sat. Nadine stared. No waiter needed to explain the moment. The ocean itself seemed to pause to watch. Then Gabriel finally spoke. "Nadine," he said, voice flat and steady, "meet Ruth." No malice. No apology. No explanation. Just a clean incision. Nadine's eyes flicked between them, Gabriel's hand lightly resting on the back of Ruth's chair, Ruth's calm posture, the space where Nadine used to exist. Her pulse hammered. Her tongue stuck to the roof of her mouth. She tried to find words, any words. But Gabriel spoke again, cutting off the world. "We're going to talk tonight," he said. "All 3 of us." Nadine swallowed air. "Gabriel, what is this?" He didn't look at her when he answered. "This is the truth, without the lies we lived in." His tone was cold, not hateful. Worse, indifferent. Nadine felt something inside her fracture. Quietly, without sound. "Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing our family from everywhere. Also, like and subscribe to the channel." There was a time when Gabriel Cherry would have walked barefoot across burning charcoal if it meant Nadine could laugh again. He grew up in T-Fort, raised by 2 hands that believed in discipline and devotion. His father, Charles, built walls for a living, and taught his son that the strongest structures began with invisible foundations. His mother, Elise, braided Gabriel's hair with coconut oil and prayers, whispering, "Value people, because life will take everything else." Gabriel learned early to listen before speaking, to think before reacting, to keep his word like breath. He was not a perfect man, but he was a man of substance. And when he met Nadine, soft laughter, bright eyes, ambition stitched into the sway of her walk, he saw not beauty. He saw home. They married young, but not foolishly. They worked together, rent shared, dreams shared, exhaustion shared. When the power cut at night, they played dominoes by candlelight. When money ran thin, they stretched soup jumu until it lasted 2 nights. They were not rich, but they were rich in the ways that mattered. Until fear entered, not his, hers. As Gabriel's business grew, sound systems for weddings, graduations, church events, people began to know his name, call him for help, seek him. And Nadine, once the center of his world, began to feel the world push her to the side. Instead of saying, "I'm scared I'm losing you," she said, "You're hiding something. You're changing. You think you're better than me now." Gabriel tried to hold her through it. But insecurity is a wildfire, and love is made of oxygen. The more he tried, the more she pulled away, suspicious of tenderness, mistrusting his devotion. And then there was the other man. Not exceptional, not special, just available. He arrived at the moment Nadine felt unseen. He listened to complaints Gabriel didn't know she had. He fed jealousy like it was affection. He told her she was right to feel neglected. He made her believe attention was love. And Nadine drowning in her own doubts, let herself believe him. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It started with small things. Late-night messages, inside jokes, touches disguised as accidents, secrets justified as privacy. Gabriel didn't accuse. He observed. He watched the woman he loved slowly turn into someone who no longer recognized the man beside her. Until the night everything shattered, quietly, without explosion, in the form of a photo sent anonymously. Nadine, the man, her head on his shoulder. Her smile, the one Gabriel would have crossed oceans for, shining for another man. Gabriel didn't confront her that night. He didn't scream. He didn't rage. Something inside him simply turned off. Not love, but access. Now, in the restaurant, Nadine could see it, the place inside him where she no longer lived. She struggled to speak. Gabriel, please, I can explain. He cut her off, voice level. No, you justified. You didn't explain. Nadine froze. Ruth looked down at her hands. She made herself small, not the center of the story, just present in its consequence. Gabriel continued. When I was building us, you were entertaining someone who didn't even see your future. Cold, sharp, precise. Gabriel, I was hurting, Nadine whispered, tears rising. I felt like you were slipping away. I didn't know how to reach you. You didn't try, he replied. You replaced me instead. Silence. Waves rolled. Glasses clinked in the distance. Someone laughed at another table, unaware a universe was ending 3 feet away. Nadine trembled. Are you in love with her? Ruth inhaled, but Gabriel answered before she spoke. No, he said, but she respects what I give. And that is more than love when love is thrown away. Nadine broke. Her tears came fast, uncontrolled, loud in a place not built for sorrow. Gabriel, please. He didn't flinch. You didn't lose me tonight, he said. You lost me the day you took my loyalty for granted. Ruth finally lifted her head. She didn't smile. She didn't comfort. She simply spoke one truth. Someone who is loved deeply must know how to hold that love. Not break it because they doubt their own reflection. Nadine sobbed harder. Gabriel stood, calm, slow. Nadine, he said, I don't hate you. I never will. But I will not live in a house where I am an option. He pulled out cash and placed it on the table. Ruth rose beside him. Nadine reached across the table, fingers curled like someone grabbing at the last thread before falling. Gabriel, he didn't turn. You were my home, she cried. He paused, just once. Then, without looking back. And I was yours, until you walked out. They left together. Nadine stayed seated. The ocean moved, but her world did not. The sound of their footsteps faded down the wooden deck, swallowed by the slow pulse of tide against stone. Nadine remained in her chair, hands shaking, mascara bleeding down her cheeks in streaks like night-washed rivers. The waiter passed nearby and paused, uncertain whether to approach. She waved him away with a trembling hand. Her breath came in shallow bursts, like her lungs had forgotten how to inhale without him. But pain does not kill. It lingers. She sat there for a long time, long enough for the candles to burn down, for the horizon to shift from deep blue to the faintest suggestion of night. People around her resumed their lives. The world refused to collapse simply because hers had. When she finally stood, her legs felt foreign. She walked home alone, past the boulevard, past the quiet street vendors folding away their stalls, past the old cathedral casting long shadows against the pavement. She remembered when she and Gabriel used to walk this same path holding hands, laughing, planning groceries and future children and vacations they could not yet afford. Back then, even small dreams were enough. Now, those same stones felt like they were lined with her mistakes. Nadine didn't sleep that night. She walked through their house, her house now, touching everything that once held meaning. The framed photo from their wedding, she and Lace and Gabriel in his first tailored suit, had dust speckled along the top edge. She ran her thumb across the glass, but the memory did not soften. It stayed sharp, unyielding. She remembered the vows they spoke with trembling voices and radiant eyes. Better or worse, loss or gain, yours and mine, but vows are only as strong as the hands that protect them. She moved into the kitchen. The lights hummed softly above her. Dishes washed and drying on the rack. Gabriel always washed dishes after dinner. She remembered how he used to hum while doing it, off-key, steady, content. She remembered sitting on the counter just to watch him, legs swinging, smiling at the life they were building. She had lost that life with tiny choices. One message at a time. One excuse at a time. One silence too many. She sat on the floor and cried until her entire body hurt. Not because Gabriel left, but because she now understood exactly what she had thrown away. Gabriel did not go home that night. He drove Ruth back to her small apartment overlooking the sea cliffs. The night air flowed in through the car window, warm and carrying the smell of salt lilies and distant charcoal fires. Neither of them spoke, not because there was nothing to say, but because the truth had already been said. When he parked, he put the car in neutral and rested his hands on the steering wheel. Ruth didn't reach for him. Didn't speak first. Didn't try to claim a victory that did not belong to her. She simply said, in a quiet voice, "You don't have to be okay tonight." It wasn't permission to break. It was permission to breathe. Gabriel nodded once, barely perceptible. His jaw tightened, and for the first time since the restaurant, his breath trembled. "I don't hate her," he said. Ruth nodded. "I know. It hurts," he admitted. "I know." He didn't cry. Pain sat behind his eyes like a storm held back by force of will. He rested his forehead against the steering wheel and exhaled, long and unsteady. Ruth didn't touch him. She understood that sometimes, being near someone is the comfort, not the contact. "I don't want this to look like I traded her in," Gabriel finally said, voice low. Ruth shook her head. "You didn't." She gave up what she didn't know how to hold. "I only caught what was falling." He turned to look at her then. Really look. There was no triumph in her eyes. No pride. No satisfaction. Just warmth. Steady, unforced warmth. The kind of warmth that does not ask to replace love, only to honor whatever love remains. He closed his eyes. "I need time," he said. Ruth nodded. "I'll give it." She stepped out of the car, paused before closing the door, and said, "Take the time to heal, Gabriel. Just don't build walls so high you can't climb out later." Then she closed the door and walked inside. Gabriel watched the building door shut behind her. Then he drove. Not home. Just drove. Through the quiet night roads of Cap Haitian, where streetlights flickered, and children chased the last warmth of the day under porches, and stray dogs slept beside church steps. He drove until he felt the tightness in his chest loosen, not vanish, just loosen enough to breathe. When he finally parked outside his mother's house, the house he grew up in, he sat in the car another long minute before going in. Elise was awake. Haitian mothers always know. She didn't ask questions, didn't scold, didn't sigh. She simply opened her arms. And Gabriel rested his forehead against her shoulder the way he did when he was 6 and scraped his knees. She stroked his hair. "You did everything you could, my child." Gabriel nodded against her. "I know." She kissed his temple and whispered, "Love doesn't die. It changes form." He let the tears come then. Silent. Necessary. Healing. Meanwhile, Nadine woke the next morning surrounded by silence, but not emptiness. Remorse has weight. It filled every corner, every inch, every breath. She called him. No answer. She texted him. Delivered. Not read. She showered, dressed, walked to the shop, the place where his music equipment was displayed like trophies of effort and persistence. When she reached the door, she saw him inside, working, focused, hands steady, posture straight. It broke her heart that he could function without her. She stepped inside quietly. The bell above the door chimed. Gabriel didn't look up immediately. When he did, his eyes didn't flinch, didn't soften, didn't harden. Just acknowledgement. "Nadine." Her throat tightened. "Can we talk?" He didn't sigh, didn't resist, didn't indulge. He simply said, "Yes." But the tone carried the real meaning. "We will talk, but nothing you say will change what is already true." They sat across from each other in the workshop office, the same place where they used to eat lunch together, laughing about customers and plans and life. The same place where he once told her he wanted to grow old with her. Now the air felt heavy. Foreign. Nadine spoke first, because she had to. I know I betrayed you. I know I hurt you. I know I broke something I can't fix in a night. But Gabriel, I didn't stop loving you. Gabriel listened. When she finished, he asked one simple question. Then why did you treat love like something that could hold itself without being held? She covered her face with her hands. I was scared. I was insecure. I thought you were outgrowing me. He nodded once. That was the moment to hold tighter. Not run. She cried harder. I wanted you to reassure me. I did, he said. You just didn't believe me. Silence. Not empty silence. Silence full of truth. I'm not asking you to forgive me today, Nadine whispered. I'm just asking you to not close the door yet. Gabriel looked at her for a long time. Not with anger. Not with longing. With sorrow. There is no door left to close, he said. You broke it when you walked through it with someone else. Her tears came hard again. He let them, but he did not reach for her. Not because he wanted to punish her, but because he no longer could. Pain changes the shape of touch. Nadine didn't argue. There was nothing left to defend. Her tears were not loud now. They were the quiet kind, the kind that come from recognizing truth rather than resisting it. She wiped her face with the back of her hand, but the shaking didn't stop. I don't know how to live in a world where you don't love me anymore, she whispered. Gabriel looked down at his hands. Strong hands. Steady hands. Hands that once built a home with her. I didn't stop loving you, he said. Her head lifted. Hope sparked. But he continued before she could breathe it fully. I stopped belonging to you. The hope extinguished instantly, leaving only the smoke of what it once was. She covered her mouth to keep from sobbing aloud. He wasn't cruel. He was simply finished. There is a difference. Days passed. Not dramatic days. Ordinary ones. But loss makes ordinary feel unbearable. Nadine went to work. She smiled when needed. She responded politely. She functioned. But her chest was full of echoes. In the bathroom at work, she sometimes had to stand still for a minute to remember how to exist. At night, she moved through the house touching door frames, curtains, plates, like the house itself was a body she could no longer live inside. She didn't call Gabriel again. He didn't contact her either. Not because they didn't think of each other, but because grief comes with patience, and both were grieving what had been. Gabriel didn't move in with Ruth. He didn't rush into anything. He worked. He ate. He rested. He visited his mother. He sat by the sea sometimes and watched people live their lives, the world turning whether his heart felt ready or not. Ruth was present, but never pressing. She showed up with food sometimes. Left without asking to stay. She listened when he spoke. She didn't fill silence just to escape it. She let him heal where he was broken. Not by replacing what Nadine was, but by respecting what Nadine meant. This was important. Gabriel didn't need someone to erase the past. He needed someone who could carry the past without fearing it. And Ruth did. Meanwhile, Nadine began to learn the shape of consequences. At first, she told herself she could win him back. She could prove she had changed. She could show him she understood. She could rebuild trust. But time has a cruel honesty. One afternoon, she passed by the shop. Not to enter, just to see. Through the open door, she saw Ruth carrying cables while Gabriel adjusted a speaker. They spoke quietly, not flirting, not performing, just existing in harmony. It wasn't romance. It was peace. And it shattered her, because she finally understood. She had been loved by a good man, and instead of sinking roots with him, she had tried to outrun her own reflection. Weeks turned into months. No dramatic scenes. No grand confrontation. No begging in the rain. No soap opera ending. Just life. Life after loss. One Sunday morning, Nadine dressed for church. She hadn't gone in a long time. She sat near the back, hands clasped. When the choir sang, her throat tightened. She sat there thinking of the versions of herself she had been. The girl who laughed too loudly. The woman who believed love was guaranteed. The wife who didn't know how to hold gentle things. And the version she was now. Someone learning to live with regret without letting it consume her. She prayed, not for him to return, but to someday be someone worthy of the kind of love she once had. Gabriel healed slowly, not all at once, not in a straight line. Some nights, memories showed up and knocked the air out of his lungs. Some mornings, the quiet felt like peace. Ruth didn't rush him toward the future. She simply walked beside him in the present. One evening, they sat on the sea wall, legs dangling over the water, the city lights flickering across the dark waves. Ruth leaned her head lightly on his shoulder, not claiming him, just resting. He didn't move away. For the first time, he didn't feel the need to. It wasn't love yet, but it was possibility, and possibility is where healing becomes hope. But life has a way of circling what is unresolved. One late afternoon, Nadine and Gabriel crossed paths outside the market. They both stopped, not because they had to, but because endings deserve acknowledgement. Nadine looked thinner, not sick, just softer, quieter, a woman who had been reshaped by reflection. Gabriel looked the same, but the emptiness behind his eyes was gone. Not replaced by joy, just cleared. They didn't move closer, they didn't reach out, they just stood in the soft, golden light of near sunset. Nadine spoke first. "Thank you," she said. Gabriel blinked, surprised. "For what?" "For loving me, even when I didn't know how to hold it." Gabriel nodded slowly. "And thank you," he replied, "for teaching me that love is not enough without respect. No bitterness, no wounds, just truth." She smiled, the faint, sad kind, and wiped one tear with the back of her hand. "I hope she treats you well." "She does," he said. "And she sees me." Nadine nodded. "I hope, someday, I learn to see someone like that too." He didn't say "I hope so too." He didn't say "I forgive you." He didn't say "I'll come back." He simply said, "I wish you peace, Nadine." She whispered, "And I wish you a good life, Gabriel." They parted, not as lovers, not as enemies, but as people who had lived a story that changed them both. Months later, Gabriel and Ruth walked together into the future, slowly, carefully, honestly. And Nadine, she didn't vanish. She didn't collapse. She grew. She learned to face the mirror. And someday, she would love again. But differently, with both hands open, holding, not clinging, grateful, not afraid, because heartbreak is not punishment. It is instruction, and that is the story. If this story moved you, like the video and subscribe for more. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing our family from everywhere. Until next time, Haiti Folktale.